All right, it's been a minute, but I'm back. This is Saturday here, doing a little LP cycle. I've said over and over again that, have a cycle of having some fun, hitting PRs, and then get back to business. So this was my last set. I didn't record my first two. 3 sets of 5, high bar squat, 460 pounds. So it's definitely not a PR. I've done this before. Maybe even I've done 465. I did 467 and a half for 3 sets of 5 in January during one of my original LP cycles. Not original, the first cycle this year, okay? And but that was with sleeves, so this is a little bit different. And it was more of a mid bar. It's a high bar position there. Sunday, I did deadlifts. They went terrible, so not really going to post them because I'm going to have to repeat the workout anyway. And this is just now, Monday morning, 295, 3 sets of 5 on bench. I didn't know if I was going to start at 290 or maybe even lower, but 275 for a single move real easy. So this is 295, 3 sets of 5. Even pausing the first rep too on the second 2 sets. I didn't know how the first one I psyched out for a bit. It's probably my hardest set, and these ones moved a bit easier. Last one was hard, but that one's easier than the first one. As you can see, I'm wearing my Iron Maiden, the Trooper pullover, and you're gonna hear it playing in this clip too. So is that corny, or is it cornier to wear the pullover or the shirt of one band and listen to another? In warm-ups, I was listening to Screaming for Vengeance, the album by Judas Priest. Is that a worse look than wearing the Maiden pullover, or is it listening to the song on the pullover?
All right, bonus content for the day. I'm gonna make some freaking protein slop here. So to start, need some peanut butter. It's natural peanut butter, Teddy, best brand. Little pat of butter. All right, I'm not gonna use the whole thing. I'm gonna cut it. And optional, use a dark chocolate square. This isn't even a full square. I ate that part there, but 90% dark chocolate. All right, you want to add dark chocolate to it. Then you don't eat dark chocolate a lot. Then probably start with like a smaller percentage because it's not gonna taste very good. But I always eat dark chocolate. I don't eat anything sweet other than dark chocolate. So 90 is good for me. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a couple spoonfuls of this, 2 or 3, a little slab of butter, and this guy, and put them in there. We got our stuff. 3 spoons peanut butter, tiny slab of butter, or dark chocolate square. What you do, pop this in the microwave, 30 seconds. Follow the instructions correctly to this point. You should have something like this. I got my peanut butter, melted butter, slightly melted dark chocolate. Now, you're gonna get your whey protein powder. I like to use chocolate for this. I suppose vanilla could work. I don't know how the vanilla and the peanut butter flavors are gonna mix. So then what you're gonna do is just gonna take a scoop like that. Shake that up. Now, you need some water, all right? You gotta water this mix so you can mix it. This is warm water. You don't need to be warm. If you use a dark chocolate square, it's gotta be warm though, because you wanna melt that dark chocolate square. You don't really need too much water. All right, I might need a little bit more than that. And I'm gonna mix this up, but I can't do that with one hand. I'll be right back. Now that you've mixed it, it should look something like this. It should have like a pudding type consistency. Now, honestly, some people, that might be all the work you wanna do. I wanna do a little bit more. I'm gonna add some flavor to it. I'm gonna add, God damn it. Can't do this shit one-handed, man. Add some cinnamon. Come on. I can't do this one-handed. Okay, that's good enough. Then I'm gonna add some honey. I'm gonna stir it a bit more with a knife knife that I just used to make my counter all gross. Protein slop on my counter. And what I do is I stick this in the refrigerator. I'm not going to eat it until like 8 o'clock tonight. It is 11:37 right now. I'll eat it on one of my breaks at work. You can eat it right now, or you can refrigerate it and let the mixture, it'll harden a bit so you can like pick it up with like a spoon, like a, have kind of like a peanut butter texture. Right now it's like more of like a pudding texture. And then you can just eat it like that. You just eat the slop with a spoon. I put it on fruit, apples, bananas. Today I'll probably get some strawberries and put it on those. That's really good. Or just about any fruit. And in the mix overall, I mean, this protein is 24, I think, gold standard. Yeah, 24. Plus whatever's in the peanut butter, if you want to count non-actual proteins, that's a fat source. If you're not just counting strictly protein sources. Peanut butter, you use a serving, it's like 8. I use a little bit more than a serving, so it's probably a bit more. So we're talking like, 35 grams of protein right here. I suppose you could add other stuff to it too. You could add nuts, whatever. I stole this from 70s Big, Justin Lasik. He's the guy that put me onto this. You can go read his article on it. Look up, I think he called it like protein cookie dough or something. It's protein slop, man. This isn't cookie dough. Get the hell out of here with that. This is slop. People say, hey, what are you eating? I'm eating slop. I'm eating protein slop. This is peanut butter mixed with protein slop. And they look at you with disgust. But it's 30 grams of protein. Now, I wouldn't make, this is just a sweet treat. I'll have this most days. Most days at work, I have this 4 or 5 times a week. If I'm working, I'm probably going to have this 5 times a week. Sometimes 6, maybe even 7. If I'm not at work, I really don't eat this. I'd rather eat meat, normal things. But this is convenient. So, make it. Got a sweet tooth. All right. When I'm not eating the slop, this is what I eat. This post-workout meal. Got 6 eggs, bacon. I know what you're thinking. Well, you told me to eat the dark chocolate and the peanut butter and the butter and eggs and bacon. It's all saturated fats. And those are terrible for you, right? Because they increase your LDL. Well, I suppose it's possible, all right? But I'll tell you this. They say it may, okay? And they blame these, but on what I read, it says, well, they're in a lot of the fatty foods that you eat out. Well, seems to me that the increase in cholesterol being in fatty foods that you eat out is because you're getting your burgers from McDonald's instead of making them out of ground beef at home, okay? We're making big jumps here, okay? We're going to, saturated fats are the problem because they're in McDonald's food. And that'll increase your cholesterol. Really not too worried about that, all right? Because I'm not eating, these aren't McDonald's eggs. These are ones I bought from the store. Uncured bacon, which, it doesn't have anything to do with the, quality's a little bit better, but it's bacon, whatever. Secondly, by the way, the people who tell you not to eat the saturated fats, that comes from the same people, I believe, that made the food pyramid, who told you to eat like 80% of your diet should just be carbs, grains, breads, and that you should have like small amounts of meats and even smaller amounts of fats. And the food pyramid, it is widely discredited at this point. But those people's studies on saturated fats are still promoted. And they tell you to eat seed oils. They tell you to eat canola oil. Canola is not a thing. It's rapeseed oil. It was used as motor oil, and they had excess, so now you put that in your body. And you're telling me that's better than butters or eggs or bacon. Okay.